All right, let's just dive right into this. Welcome to the explainer that is literally going to serve as your ultimate cheat code toolkit. Look, if you're gearing up for your university entrance exams and feeling completely overwhelmed by the English reading section, take a breath because you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to completely transform the way you approach these tests. We're turning what usually feels like a frustrating, impossible guessing game into a highly strategic, totally winnable mission.
So, be honest for a second here. Do you just completely freeze up when you open that exam packet and see an absolute wall of English text? The clock is ticking, the pressure is super high, and suddenly your mind just goes totally blank? If that sounds familiar, trust me, you are so not alone. That panic is completely normal, but it's exactly what we're going to eliminate today. You're going to stop reading like a panicked, stressed out student, and you're going to start reading like a smart, tactical test detective.
Okay, here is our quick roadmap for today's explainer. We'll be covering 6 essential steps to get you there: decoding English texts, main idea and purpose strategy, guessing vocab without a dictionary, synthesis, facts versus opinions, and finally, the key to conquering exams. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. Decoding English texts. I want you to think of this exam like a game. And before you can win any game, you have to quickly identify the board you're playing on, right? Every single text has a specific structure and honestly a hidden agenda. Recognizing that agenda immediately gives you a massive advantage. Basically, there are 4 main types you'll encounter. First up, descriptive texts. Their goal is just to identify and describe something, like, say, a rare animal. Second, procedure texts, which give you instructions or steps, like how to use a new app. Third are narrative texts, which are simply there to entertain you with a story. Think fables with talking animals. And fourth, analytical exposition. These are trying to persuade you using arguments, like an article on why social media has negative effects. The second you recognize the text type, boom, you instantly know the author's primary goal. Moving on to Section 2, main idea and purpose strategy. Now, this is where we tackle the most common, yet honestly the most time-consuming question types. I'm going to give you a secret that will save you so many precious minutes. Ready? You absolutely do not need to read the entire text to find the answers. Seriously. Never read the text first. Step 1, always read the question first. Step 2, find the unique keyword in that specific question. And step 3, scan the text looking only for that keyword, or maybe a synonym of it. Remember, you're a detective hunting for clues. You're not a casual reader kicking back with the novel. And here is the ultimate shortcut for you. When the test asks for the main idea, the topic, or the purpose of the text, please don't go digging through the middle or the end of the passage. The answer is almost always hiding right there in the opening sentences of the very first paragraph. Just find the main point there, match it to your multiple choice options, and move on. It's that simple. All right, Section 3. Guessing vocab without a dictionary. We have all hit that horrible moment where a terrifying multisyllable word threatens to completely ruin our understanding of a sentence. But what if I told you the text itself is actually a dictionary in disguise? It's true. Writers usually know when they're using a complex word, so they actually define it for you immediately using punctuation. For instance, notice how a difficult word, like chlorophyll, might be immediately followed by a comma and then the phrase, a green pigment in plants. Commas, dashes, and parentheses, they act as built-in dictionaries right inside the reading. So if you're asked what a crazy word means, don't panic, just look right next to it. The author might also use what we call restatement cues. You'll spot words like or, i.e., or that is. If the test asks you for the meaning of the word fertile, and the text literally says fertile or rich for farming, the test makers are literally handing you the answer on a silver platter. You just match rich for farming or good for growing plants to your ABCD options, and you're golden.
Which brings us to Section 4, synthesis, text and logic.
Okay, now we're diving into a slightly more advanced competency where the test isn't just asking you to point to a fact on the page. It's asking for synthesis. So what exactly is synthesis? Simply put, it's combining the explicit information you just read in the text with the knowledge that's already stored in your own brain in order to form a completely new understanding. You're basically merging what you read with what you already know about the world to pick the right answer. Let's look at a concrete example so you can see this in action. Let's say the text explicitly tells you that the Mandalika circuit offers modern technology and economic opportunities. Okay, got it. Then the question asks you to combine that detail with your own outside knowledge that Lombok, where the circuit is located, is famous for its traditional Sasak culture. By synthesizing these two variables, the modern tech from the page and the traditional culture from your brain, you easily arrive at the correct answer. Mandalika offers both modern racing and a rich cultural experience. Make sense?
All right, Section 5, Facts, Opinions, and Evaluation.
This is often the trickiest part of the entire exam for a lot of people. Distinguishing between objective reality and subjective viewpoints. Facts are undeniable, right? They usually contain specific data, hard numbers, or actions that literally cannot be debated. For example, social media platforms have a reporting system. That is a verifiable fact. Opinions, on the other hand, use subjective, debatable words. If a sentence says, cyberbullying is the most dangerous digital threat, or if it uses words like many, some, or should, that is an opinion because someone else could easily come along and argue against it.
Sometimes you'll actually have to evaluate facts visually, like when they throw an analytical exposition infographic at you. Whatever you do, don't let the numbers intimidate you. You absolutely do not need to do exact math here. Instead, just evaluate the general trend. If you see positive views are clearly decreasing over the years, while the negative views are increasing, you've got the point. By simply interpreting that visual trend, you can accurately answer questions about complex data without breaking a sweat.
Finally, Section 6, the key to conquering exams.
We have gone over the hard tools, but now let's talk about the mindset required to actually evaluate your options and pass this exam with flying colors. When you are staring down those A, B, C, D choices, you have to run them through a mental filter. First, ask yourself, is the information valid? Meaning, does it provide complete data and clear examples that are actually supported by the text? Or is it invalid, maybe lacking specific details? Furthermore, you really have to separate reality from fantasy. If you're reading a narrative text and one of the options suggests a literal animal organizing a race and cheering, well, you know that falls under fantasy, not a real-world fact. Evaluating the validity and the reality of the options is your final foolproof safety net.
At the end of the day, remember this. This exam is not a test of how fast you can read a novel. It is a test of how efficiently you can locate and synthesize information. You don't need to read every single word. You just need to find the right keyword. You are a smart, strategic test detective now, and you have the complete toolkit to go in there and win this game. But, these reading hacks, they're just the tip of the iceberg. If mastering these simple keyword shifts can save you this much time, what other hidden patterns are you missing in your exam prep?